Hi guys, wanted to go over with you the Waterpik Cordless Pearl and the Waterpik Cordless Express, show you the different features, compare their sizes, and give you kind of what my recommendation is. Now, I've been using the Cordless Pearl for about a year and a half on my dentist recommendation, and I recently purchased the Cordless Express for travel purposes. The Cordless Express comes with three AAA batteries and two of your standard water pick tips, whereas Cordless Pearl comes with two of the standard tips as well as two brush tips. And of course, it's rechargeable, so it comes with a recharging cord. Obviously, the how it's powered is the biggest difference. The Cordless Pearl is a recharging cord, so when it runs low, you just plug it into your wall, let it charge, it turns off when it's fully charged. And the Cordless Express doesn't have a cord. It runs on three AA batteries, as I mentioned. I would probably replace those with recyclables. All right, so let's take a look at how the batteries go into the Cordless Express. First thing you have to do is you're going to have to remove the reservoir, and it takes just a little bit of effort, but you're just going to kind of pull it off like that. Obviously, if you've got water in it, be careful because you'll end up spilling. Also, you want to be careful of the straw. Then when you look down here at the bottom, you can see you've got a lock and a lock. And right next to that lock, you see that sort of little textured area right there. You got one there. Just going to grab it like this, and I'm going to turn it so it says unlock. Then I'm just going to gently kind of go back and forth and work it a little bit. And that opens up the battery compartment. You can see it's got a rubber seal here that keeps it waterproof. And that's where you're going to put the three batteries. So we can do this real quick. And it does have, you can't see it, but it does have an indicator to tell you what directions the battery goes. The other little trick is there's a little nub right there. That's going to line up with, I'll turn this here, that's going to line up with that. So if you get those two lined up just right, everything just like that, everything slips in, and then you just switch it back to the lock position, and you're going to put the straw in the reservoir, you're going to slide it on. And so that's how you change the batteries on the Cordless Express. For me, when I travel, to have everything kind of as one unit, to not have an extra cord with me, I felt like this made a lot of sense. So I've actually used this for a couple of weeks now, and I think they're very similar, but there are a couple of features I wanted to point out that would be different. So as far as size, gives you an idea like this. You can see we've got the different buttons here. So on the Cordless Express, you basically have an off, you have your low pressure, and you have your high pressure. And on the Cordless Pearl, you've actually got an on-off, or you've got a speed button, a low speed, high speed, and then you've got an on-off. Actually, you've got battery in there, so it works. As far as that goes, the speeds are the same. So 45 psi on the low pressure and 75 psi on the high pressure. As I mentioned, they both use the same tips, so they are completely interchangeable, but and you can order replacements that way as well. But as far as the tip goes, so on the Cordless Express, you're going to just insert the tip, and it doesn't turn. To eject it, though, you just push the button and eject it. If you want to turn it, it will turn 90 degrees. You take it out, rotate it 90 degrees, and so you can get 4 different positions on it. With the Cordless Pearl, the tip goes in the same way, snaps in, but you've got this dial here, so you can turn the tip any way you want it. I think that really makes it convenient because sometimes when you're trying to get the right angle in your mouth, it's just easy to have to just turn the dial, versus here you have to remove the tip and replace it. As far as ejecting from the Cordless Pearl, it works the same. You're just going to push the button and it comes right out. The other big difference that you'll notice is the size of the reservoir. So even though the units are about the same, the Cordless Pearl's reservoir is 40% bigger than the Cordless Express. So this is a 7-ounce reservoir. This is a 5-ounce reservoir. So this is going to last you 40% longer, so you won't have to refill it as much. That's actually pretty convenient. I find that this probably runs out in definitely under a minute, probably more like about 30 or 40 seconds. You will run out if you're on the high pressure, and you will have to refill it. This obviously goes a little bit longer. As far as the weight goes, the Cordless Pearl is a little bit heavier than the Cordless Express, partly because the reservoir is bigger, and partly, I think, because of the rechargeable battery weighs more than the AAAs would be in the unit. In all, I like both units. I've used the Pearl much longer than I have the Cordless Express, so I'm most familiar with it. And I feel like I've gotten used to the grip on it. You can see that they're definitely a little bit different shape in the grips there. So I've probably gotten used to feeling like this is more comfortable and more natural, just because I've been using it for about a year and a half. But otherwise, I think they're both very similar, and I use them for different purposes. Like I said, this is a nice and a convenient one for me to travel with. I don't have to worry about forgetting this if I take it somewhere. And yeah, also when I'm in the RV or when, when we don't camp, but when we're in the RV, having it not have to be grid dependent or electrical grid dependent is a big plus. But this is definitely my favorite for daily use here at home, and the convenience of it being rechargeable and the larger reservoir and the turning head are definitely pluses for my everyday use. But